Ahoy there. Today on the Red Sea, what should I absolutely not do when visiting your country? China. Do not drink the tap water unless you want to have diarrhea or die. BTW guys. This does not just apply to visitors. It's the same for us Chinese as well. The main reason, though there are a couple, why we drink hot water and get annoyed if a restaurant does not serve it, is because drinking Chinese tap water will make us pretty ill if we do not boil it first. Deal drugs. Punishment is death. Singapore. Deal drugs. Punishment is death. China. Deal drugs. Just do not stand in the bike lane. Netherlands. Iceland. Do not drive off-road, because the tracks will stay for a long time in the land. Switzerland. Do not assume that people cannot understand you if you speak English. Everyone speaks English. I have heard many foreigners speaking too loudly and vulgarly in public. I'm foreign myself. Denmark. Do not stand on or walk on our bike lanes. You'll be yelled at like never before or possibly be run over by an angry cyclist. Belgium. Do not compliment them on anything. They'll spend the next half hour bringing themselves down and assure you everything and everyone elsewhere is better. This ISN not a really major forks pass ... but do not tip in Japan. Do not do it. If you try, whoever you attempted to tip is likely going to be a little upset. You are pretty much calling them unprofessional because you think they need that extra help or something. Latvia. Specifically Riga. Do not climb the Monument of Freedom. Or probably any monument. The police arrest you and will probably hit you with a baton. Source. Baton. When in America, never, ever touch other people's children. Especially if you are a stranger to them. I took a bunch of Argentinian friends to a mall once and they were patting little kids on the head, which is common in their country. We almost got arrested. I'm from Uruguay. Patting kids on the head is fairly common, unless you look like a total weirdo. In fact, touching other people is no big deal. A kiss in the cheek is normal, even between men that just got introduced. Some years ago I had to visit the main offices of the company I was working for in the US. It was an extremely multicultural workplace. People from India, Bulgaria, Lithuania, Romania, France, Morocco, and along etc. I got kisses, hands, hugs, distanced his, etc. I failed to greet in the same way I was being greeted every ducking time. By the end of the day I was so stressed and confused that I was afraid to end French kissing some guy by accident. From some Italy friends. Do not lose your receipts. Counterfeiting is a problem, but so is corruption. If you buy a fake piece of shite and do not have a receipt to prove you got scammed, the police will give you a hard time. Island calling. Always stand your ground. People will practically fight each other to be the one to buy the next round of drinks. They will tell you to put your wallet away. Do not listen to them. If you do not stand your ground you may as well call their mother a bitch and shag their wife in front of them, because that is how much of a prick they'll think you are. Also do not ever try to do an Irish accent. The major problem is there's no such thing. There's a Dublin/Cork/Belfast/etc accent. Try to amalgamate them into an Irish accent and you will sound like a leprechaun. A leprechaun that's shite at doing accents. Western United States. Do not drive into the deserts in summer without water and a good map, not GPS. Same for the mountains in winter. If you go exploring, tell someone where you are going, how you will get there, and when you will be back. Never walk in the streets especially at night. Never trust to any police officer. Never take a taxi in the streets. Never show your money in public. Never use cell phones in the streets. I'm from Venezuela.
Must be a nice place.
The country is beautiful. The society is crap. England. London to be specific. Do not talk to people on the tube. Got that? The tube is as sacred to us as the shower. It is where we reminisce about our pasts in complete silence. It is a memorial to fallen dreams. A cemetery of missed opportunities. But most of all it is a sanctuary of regret. And you will treat it like a library. Sit down. Shut the duck up. Read a ducking book and ignore the tears rolling down the face of the person next to you. Conversely, in America, do not be freaked out when strangers talk to you. It's normal to interact and make small talk with people you do not know here. Turkey. Take off your shoes when you enter the house unless the host really expressively states you can leave them on. Do not refuse the tea. It's rude. Jamaica. Do not wander too far off the resort unless you have a trusted resort guide or family to be with you, especially if you're white or have a distinct foreign accent. Edit. I kinda regret painting Jamaica in such a bad light. It really is not as bad as all this. During the recession was worse. Thousands of people go every year and have an amazing time. I'd recommend it to everyone. But just be safe. I stopped in Jamaica on a cruise one time. I asked a nice man selling geodes, the cool looking minerals, where I could get some rolling papers. I gave him $5 US and he came back a little later with them. He then told me and my brother that we should go smoke by his boat so we didn't get in trouble. So we followed him and sat down on some rocks next to his boat. He talked about what his was life like in Jamaica and how he lived on his boat. Then he introduced us to a few of his neighbors. At this point I was super baked. I smoke regularly and my brother only does on occasion. And stray kittens kept popping up between the rocks scaring the shite out of me. We finish our joint and I hop down from the rock and thank the nice man. That's when it happened. My lightweight brother passes out right as he steps off the rock. Out cold. My high brain begins to freak out and I just keep thinking how these guys can kill us and no one will ever find our body. They wouldn't even know we were missing. Lucky for us. One of the neighbors came out with what appeared to be smelling salts to get my brother up. I sat and watched as two Jamaican men talked with him and gave him a fresh Coke. We stayed for another 20 minutes until my brother said he was okay to go. I gave the older guy $20 before we left to thank him for all his help. USA. This place is huge. Visiting for a week. You do not want to drive from Boston to New York City to Florida. You will spend all of your time in a car. Particularly European tourists do not seem to grasp how long it will take.
This is a good one. Some Brit friends of mine once tried to put together a road trip across the states from NY to LA. They wanted to do it in a week.
Do try to put on an Australian accent. Seriously. It's hilarious for us. Do not, under any circumstances, come to Scotland and call anyone English. Shout freedom expecting a reaction. Seriously saw someone do this once at Edinburgh Castle. Turn down a drink. The measure of a man is directly proportional to how much alcohol he can consume. Malta. Do not go to the south and let everyone know that you're foreign. Do not expect the buses to be on time. Do not even try to speak Maltese. If you have absolutely no idea how to, you will hear the word liber a lot. It means sperm. For some reason we say it loud and as often as possible. Other than that, the beaches are beautiful. The women just as beautiful and the nightlife is incredible. Make sure you go to Passavile, main party strip, on a Friday and you're in for a good time. Winky face. India. There's lots of little cultural taboos. But one thing I can remember right now is never refer to someone older than you by their name. If you are young, below 20ish, you can refer to middle-aged and older people as auntie and uncle, or sir and mom. It gets slightly confusing when you are around 20, like I am, and the person is in their late 20s or early 30s. But yeah, never call someone older by their name. My cousin who lives in the US once brought her friend over on a trip to India. The friend asked my grandmother for her name and referred to her by the name once. My grandmother flipped and decided she does not like foreigners. Haha. Germany. Do not act like an artsy. Do not do silly things like shouting USA. In general, common sense and common courtesy are the way to go, but it is to be supposed that this applies not only in Germany, also to you Americans. No right turns on red unless there is a green arrow. Israel. Do not show up to a holy site, Jewish, Muslim, or Christian, in short shorts and a tank top. Do not attempt to shake hands with religious people of the opposite gender. Do not walk past a security guard without opening your bag for inspection, especially if the metal detector buzzes. I'm ashamed of saying this. India. If you are female, do not travel alone. Goes for Egypt too. Do not visit the Mall of America. It's a big mall. That's it. If you traveled all the way to Minnesota, USA, there are at least 1,000 more interesting things you can do than visit the damn mall. Serious one here for Aussies and Brits visiting American and Canada. Don't say runt. Even if you mean it as a term of endearment. Say methodica, cocksucker, slimy bastard and shitehead all you want, but steer clear of the big C. When you're in India and see two guys holding hands, do not assume they're gay. In fact, 99% of the time they are going to be straight, arms around shoulders, and holding hands mostly mean they are close friends / brothers / homies etc. Plus, gay flamboyance has not caught up in India as much as the first world. In other words, They'd be hesitant doing that if they were gay. USA here. Do not come here and automatically think we do not speak your language. Some of us do. And we know you're talking about our ass. True story. Turkish girl I work with was helping 2 Turkish customers. She looks more like a typical Italian New Yorker. Or should I say Jersey Shore sort of vibe. She's one of the sweetest, most genuine people I've met. The Turkish tourists were buying in bulk and she was helping them. They were calling her addiction slow, etc. At the end, when she rang them up she said, "Have a nice day" in Turkish and just smiled. They looked mortified. I was in China with a few of my Russian friends. We were eating some granola bars because we did not have time for breakfast before we left. 2 of the 6 in our group might be considered overweight at the time, but most of us would generally be considered fit. This group of Russian tourists were talking shite. Typical Americans. Always eating. Look at his fat ass stuffing his face. They kept going on and on. My friend walked up to them on our way out and told them the fun things to do and what to avoid in Russian. You should have seen their faces. They froze with the "I've just seen a ghost" look. If you are reading this, you watched until the end of the video. Smash that like button if you have enjoyed it. Bam. On screen there should be some more videos similar to this. So either go do something else or watch more videos. That's about it. There is no more here. What are you waiting for, a secret message or something? This is not a secret, but subscribe for more videos like this.